Hi everyone. Thought I'd do a midwinter update here. So this is winter 2021 into 2022. Thought I'd share a couple things that I've learned now that this is my third season using this Crown Royal stove. Still really like it. Would still choose this. Haven't had any issues with it. Nothing unavoidable, at least. Couple things I've learned. You see, I have had some creosote drip down onto the door. I created a drip tray, magnetic tray, so some of that doesn't go all on the door, kind of like what you see down here. Then this can be cleaned out later. I tightened up the door a little bit this year to help prevent that, and I don't know if I made matters worse by doing that or what, but either way, whenever I open it, I scrape down this lower edge, any creosote build up there, and get as much of it away as I can, scrape down the door. But burning good dry wood this year, and so overall, not having any issues like what I had in the past burning green wood. And if there's any one thing about these E series, if you're looking into them, is you really need to burn dry wood. That they say that if you want to burn green wood, that's fine. Crown Royal has an MP series, go with that. But these E series, you definitely want dry wood. The creosote will just get you in trouble in terms of the cleanliness inside the stove, mainly around your doors and things like that, because I'm burning dry wood, but there's still some creosote buildup. You don't have to worry about the damper in the back sticking because it gets creosote buildup around it and it'll burn up your solenoid. But keeping that solenoid in the back clean where it comes down is important. There's a high limit on this that for the first time the other day I hit it. Since it got pretty cold here, down into like the teens or single digits, I increased the high temperature, the set temperature to 180, and I set the low to 160, so a 20 degree differential. And I loaded it with oak that night, and that oak burned so hot that even though it shut down at 180, it went up to 190 where it hit the high temp limit. When it hits that limit, it's got to go back down to 150 before it'll kick back on. So just something to note. You can probably run 180. I know I've heard of people that do, but with oak in there and coming from a 20 degree differential, it just got so hot that it tripped. It actually tripped in the morning, so it wasn't like when I first loaded it when it was mostly full firebox. It did it earlier when it was kind of half loaded. And maybe it did it earlier in the night too, after I loaded it. I don't know. With that said, so I've talked about a few things what other people have done. There's a Facebook group, Crown Royal support group. If you guys are looking into a Crown Royal stove or got questions or want to see what other people's experiences are, or if they're having issues and things like that, highly recommend joining the group. You may learn a lot. But overall, still very pleased with this stove. As I'm sure you sometimes are never satisfied. I wish I went through less wood, but I know it's a product of my house and not this wood burner. So I'm still burning October to probably early April, and then I shut it down when it doesn't run enough. And when it doesn't run enough, it gets too much creosote built up inside, and it just doesn't seem like it's really worth it. So I can show you real quick if I turn it on right now. We'll see what it's like. Oh, I did comment on the clean out video how if you go back to that video, the scraper doesn't fit well underneath the turbulators when you're scraping that out. Somebody in the support group mentioned pull this handle about 8 inches or so, and then those turbulators, the ones that were high and low, they kind of even out and you can get the scraper in there real nice. So we'll look in here, see how we're doing. I actually got it, it's actually bridged up here a little bit, so just the way I stacked it. So I'll go ahead and knock that down a little bit. Trying to do this one-handed ain't too fun. There we go. So there we go. You can see it wasn't running recently, so the fire was kind of out. It wasn't really out because as soon as I kicked it on, it kicks back on. You can see this is where I fight creosote buildup. It's here in the corner, and every time I load the stove, I just scrape that off with the scraper and this corner here. But I am burning dry wood. It's just, I guess, a product of the wood I am burning right now. I'm mostly burning silver maple this year because that's what I got for free last year. So, but you can tell burning like oak, things like that. It's just as dry, but it has less creosote in it. So yeah, if you guys are still looking into one, I still highly recommend these wood burners. And if you have any questions, don't be afraid to drop a comment below in the box, or use the Crown site to find a local dealer near you. And have a good day.